This video is brought to you by Jackery and the Jackery HomePower 3600 Plus, designed specifically for modern households of 3 to 6 people, combining power, safety, and portability in one complete home backup package. When we were up here working on the cabin recently, we took a look at the Jackery HomePower 3600 and how it might be useful for working on this cabin project. And while the HomePower 3600 Plus is a wonderful device for powering tools, charging battery-operated tools, and all the other things that I need power for up here where there is no power, it is also the ideal solution for home backup power. After all, that's really what it's designed for. Jackery's Essential Home Backup System powers your home's essential items during a power outage. There are 420 volt 20 amp plugs, 120 volt 30 amp plugs, suitable for plugging an RV into if you want to use this to power your RV when you're camping, 2 USB-A ports, 2 USB-C ports. There's an AC in for charging, 2 DC in ports for charging, an AC expansion port, and a DC expansion port, as well as circuit breakers for overload protection. The HomePower 3600 Plus is estimated to run a refrigerator for a family of 3 up to 14 days. Of course, that depends on the refrigerator and what its power draw is, but that's really pretty phenomenal if you can get by that long on just battery power running a refrigerator. As I edit this video, I realize that the statement about running a refrigerator for 14 days may be a little bit confusing. Remember, this unit is expandable up to 21 kilowatt hours. A typical small to mid-size refrigerator for a family of 3 might be using about 500 kilowatt hours per year. So with the expansion to 21 kilowatt hours, 500 kilowatt hours per year for a refrigerator, 14 days running a refrigerator is realistic. But you always have to keep these numbers in mind when you're using equipment like this. Janet and I used to live off-grid on solar power, and the key to running a small solar system or any battery-based electrical system is to know what your power loads are, know how long you're going to be able to run them, and budget your power accordingly. Now, you're not going to get 14 days of use from your refrigerator if you're also running a coffee maker and a crock pot and a toaster oven. And if you're using this for electric space heating, which it is perfectly capable of doing, you're going to get much less power use out of it. So if you do need these heavier loads and you need to run it for longer, having the expansion capability really helps. And that's one of the things about the HomePower 3600 Plus that is really beneficial is you can expand it. It's not just a one-size unit. And you can not only add more battery storage capacity, but you can add more AC output capacity. Just make sure you have realistic expectations on what to expect. In addition to that, it will run other household appliances. Things like a toaster, toaster oven, a crock pot. This will absolutely run the crock pot for you. It'll even make coffee. Now, I don't know about you, but even when the power is out, I really appreciate a nice fresh cup of coffee. The HomePower 3600 Plus is expandable. You can expand both the DC storage capacity as well as the AC output. You can expand this up to 2100 kilowatt hours of output. So that's a pretty impressive amount of output. There's even a transfer switch available, so you can hook it up to your circuit box and power whole circuits instead of having to take it to where you need to plug something in or running extension cords. Although personally, I don't find running an extension cord here and there to be that big a deal. Most of the things we're going to run on this are here in the kitchen anyways. 6,000 plus charging cycles delivering over 10 years of durability. This is a long-term investment engineered to last 10 plus years, not just an emergency gadget. Even with daily use, the battery still retains 70% capacity after 10 years and includes a 3-year standard warranty with a 2-year extension, which is far above industry standards for long-term peace of mind. As far as charging goes, you can keep this charged in the house with the included AC power cord. You can also plug this into a gas generator. So if you need to run a gas generator for some bigger loads occasionally during a power outage, you can charge this while the generator's running. Then you don't need to run the generator so much because this will carry you, in most cases, for several days before you have to recharge it again. An even better solution is to pair this with the optional solar panels. I have the Solar Saga 500 panels to go with this, and it will take 2 sets of those. So you can have up to 1,000 watts of DC input coming into this. And as long as you have some sunny days, that will keep this unit charged. Did I mention that it's portable? You can take it wherever you need it. The solar panels couldn't be simpler to set up. They just unfold. And you point them towards the sun. These come with about a 20-foot cable, and you can buy extension cables if you need to go a little bit further. You plug it in and you're charging. Of course, these are best in full sun midday. It's late afternoon and we're about to lose our sun, but we're still charging the battery nevertheless. If you'd like a more permanent setup, the panels do have mounting holes so you can take the hinges off of them and mount them on some sort of a rack or even tie them up to a deck rail or something like that, as long as they're pointing at the sun. You can fully charge the HomePower 3600 on solar power in as fast as 4 hours. Panels are wind resistant and waterproof, so they don't always have to be brought in because of inclement weather. The Residential Clean Energy Credit makes switching from solar power more affordable by offering a 30% tax credit on eligible solar products and the respective installation fees. Now, the HomePower 3600 Plus can also function as a UPS. That's an uninterrupted power supply, so it can be used as a backup for your computer, for medical devices, and it will switch when the power goes out in as little as 0.1 seconds. So that's really fast switching, and that should keep your computer going without losing any data when the power goes out. This also has the ability to connect to Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, so you can use a mobile app to monitor what your power usage is. And that makes it more useful and more convenient for you in the long run. Now for us, we've had this unit about a month now, and we've actually used it during power outages already. They've been doing a lot of tree work in our area. Power company comes out on a regular basis, cuts the power off so they don't have to worry about starting a fire while they're taking trees down around the power lines. But that means that we've got a lot of these little inconvenient power outages. We have used this to do some cooking in the kitchen during those power outages. I've used it up in the shop to keep tools running during power outages. And Janet's been doing some wool dyeing that uses an electric heat source to heat the dye and the yarn that she's dyeing wool with. And she's been able to keep working on that even though the power's out. So for these little nuisance power outages, the Jackery HomePower 3600 Plus has been wonderful. In this winter, when heavy snows threaten to take the power out, which happens 2 or 3 times every winter for 12 to 24 hours, this is going to be really a big asset in our lives. It gives us some real peace of mind to have this kind of backup power available. My parents used to live in a hurricane area, and every couple of years there would be a hurricane that knocked their power out for as much as a week. That meant they couldn't cook on their electric stove, their refrigerator didn't work, they had to do all their cooking on a gas grill out in the yard, and they had to go get ice pretty much every single day to keep food fresh, along with everybody else in the area. So ice was in a big demand, hard to come by. Sometimes the prices were overly inflated, and it got to be a real pain. So if they'd had a unit like this when they were living in that area, they would have been able to use microwave, toaster oven, crock pot, all of those things, keep the refrigerator running. And with the solar panels, they could have kept it charged up and had a much easier time for those prolonged power outages. And a lot of people in those areas have gas generators, and if you're in a single-family home, you can probably make that work, although you do have to keep a supply of gasoline around at that point. And just like ice is hard to find in those situations, gas can be hard to find, long lines at the pumps. But as I mentioned earlier, you could get by using a gas generator much less by using the Jackery 3600 as your main power source and only using the gas generator to run the really big loads and simultaneously charge the battery in the 3600. You could be charging on the generator and solar panels at the same time and really charge it up fast. But imagine if you were living in an apartment, maybe a condominium, and you couldn't have a gas generator. Being able to keep your refrigerator plugged in, keep food fresh, cook, keep lights on, still being able to use your computer, stay connected, keep your mobile device charged, all would make your life so much better in those situations where the power is out. And this is quite likely the ideal solution for a lot of people. I do want to thank Jackery for supplying the HomePower 3600 Plus, as well as the Solar Saga 500 solar panels. Like I say, this is a system we're going to be really glad to have. We're going to get lots of use out of it. We're going to use it here in the house, occasionally in the shop, up at the cabin working on that project. And there are other places where this will come in really handy. So thanks again, Jackery. If you're interested in the HomePower 3600 Plus or any of the other Jackery products, use the link down in the video description. Check out their website. Lots more information, lots more great products. This morning, I received a message from Jackery about a Dallas Mavericks giveaway. They're giving away VIP suite tickets for you and 3 friends, along with flights and hotels all covered. All you got to do is share your Jackery story, tag Jackery, use the hashtags below, and you can be entered to win. I will leave more information with all the details and a link down below with the video description, as well as a link to Jackery's website if you're interested in learning more about the Jackery HomePower 3600 Plus or any of Jackery's other products. But thank you again for taking your time to watch the video. I really appreciate it, and we will see you for the next video. And if you're curious, I haven't got any additional work done on the cabin project since that last video. I've been so busy doing other things that all need to be done all at once before the snow flies in the next couple of weeks.